CM Punk officially signs with WWE Monday Night Raw, officially enters the men's 2024 Royal Rumble match, and faces off with World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins. Details on that, plus Eric Bischoff says that Ring of Honor is a parasite on All Elite Wrestling. We have the ratings for Smackdown and Rampage from last Friday night. Jey Uso's Yeet catchphrase is back after he was once again wearing the merchandise last night on Monday Night Raw. Drew McIntyre will get his next shot at the World Heavyweight Championship during the Day 1 edition of Monday Night Raw in 2024. Cody Rhodes also has the Creed brothers seemingly as backup after being sprayed by Shinsuke Nakamura's mist once again last night on Raw. Also, MJF meets John Cena at the Iron Claw premiere last night, and Sami Zayn is confirmed to be taking some time away from WWE. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off talking about CM Punk, where he's going to call home in WWE. His future plans, as well as the face-off after weeks of teasers. It finally happened. CM Punk and Seth Rollins have gone face-to-face and gone back and forth on the microphone inside of a WWE ring. Now, a shade over 2 weeks after his stunning return at Survivor Series, CM Punk has found a home on Monday Night Raw. Only moments after announcing as much, business picked up in a big way following an interruption from WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth freaking Rollins. After visiting with General Manager Nick Aldis on SmackDown last Friday and stopping by at Deadline to chat with the head of NXT Shawn Michaels, Punk made it clear in the ring that Monday night that he had 3 tangible options and offers and 3 solid offers to choose from. Calling Raw General Manager Adam Pearce's offer head and shoulders above the others, Punk told a full circle story, calling it only fitting that almost 10 years to the day since he walked out on WWE in Cleveland, he was walking right back into Raw officially in the very same building. Once he put pen to paper, cementing Pearce's big free agent acquisition, that was about enough for Rollins, who came to the ring with the WWE Universe singing his familiar entrance theme. Rollins took exception to Punk frequently calling WWE home since his return, saying that Punk walked out on WWE and tried to tear it to the ground and burn it to the ground, but most importantly, that WWE couldn't be Punk's home because that distinction belongs to Rollins. The champion went on to say that he'd defend his home with everything he possibly could, but that if Punk was going to be in WWE, he wanted him to be on Raw. And if he's truly changed, maybe one day he could find himself across the ring from Rollins, challenging for his title. He also said that, frankly, he hates CM Punk. Now, to respond to all of this, CM Punk announced his entrance in the men's Royal Rumble match at the beginning of next year, and all but assured Rollins he'd be coming after his said title after he wins the match. Now, what did you think of all of that? Because it wasn't only CM Punk's only interaction on Raw last night. It wasn't CM Punk's only back and forth. Of course, just like he did on SmackDown last Friday, he faced off and spoke with several people on the Monday Night Raw roster, including the Judgment Day. Now, we'll get into Punk's interaction backstage, but before we do, let me know your thoughts about Punk's back and forth with Seth Rollins. What are your thoughts on CM Punk signing with Monday Night Raw? Do you think we saw last night one of the main events of this year's WrestleMania, whether it be Night 1 or Night 2? Do you think CM Punk could win the Royal Rumble match next year, or could it be Cody Rhodes instead? And are you excited to see Seth Rollins face off against CM Punk? Let me know your thoughts about that as well. Now, as I mentioned, it wasn't just Seth Rollins that CM Punk faced off with last night on the Red Brand show. He continued strolling with a camera backstage, where he met up with the Judgment Day for the first time. In the backstage run-in, Punk was all smiles as he greeted the male members of the faction, with Punk asking where Rhea Ripley was. However, they did not seem amused as Damian Priest initially greeted Punk, only to hope that he did win the Rumble and the World Heavyweight Championship, holding up his senior Money in the Bank briefcase, noting that he could then cash it in on Punk. With the Judgment Day going on to have an in-ring segment, Damian Priest and Finn Balor took out their aggression with a simple message for every WWE superstar. Damian Priest said that everyone, existing, returning, or new to the roster, was put on notice. However, the segment was shortly thereafter interrupted by R-Truth, who emerged with some holiday lights, noting that he had attempted to stop by the Judgment Day clubhouse and it had new locks. Inviting R-Truth into the ring, Damian Priest was open to hearing what Truth had to say, despite JD McDonough's protests, while he shared some valuable ideas. The segment would end with Priest asking the crowd how much they love Truth, only to attack him. Outran the Creed brothers to make the save as the tag title contenders took out the entire faction to save R-Truth. Hold that thought when it comes to the Creed brothers. We'll circle back to them later on in the show. As for CM Punk, it wasn't just the Judgment Day that he faced off with. He later ran into Drew McIntyre backstage. And when it comes to McIntyre's future, we've got an update on that as well as his title plans moving forward. He then spoke to the likes of Kofi Kingston, Chad Gable and Ricochet as well. So certainly a busy evening for CM Punk. As I mentioned, what were your thoughts on Punk's promo, Seth Rollins' promo? What were your thoughts on the segment? Did that feel like a WrestleMania main event to you? Let me know your thoughts as always in the comments section below. Now, let's talk about AEW and Ring of Honor, and certainly Eric Bischoff has been very critical of Tony Khan's decision to buy ROH and link it to All Elite Wrestling. Eric Bischoff thinks Tony Khan's attention and his funds have been divided by his wrestling responsibilities, as Khan is not only running All Elite Wrestling, but Ring of Honor as well, which Khan purchased last year. Quote, "It was a bad decision to buy ROH in the first place, and there's nothing anybody's going to do to make it interesting or important outside of the hardest of hardcore internet wrestling community fans," Bischoff said on 83 Weeks. "That's it. There is no solution. If it was a horse, I would put it out of its misery and move on. I would take the resources that are going into Ring of Honor, which is never going to be viable ever. I would take the resources that are being dumped into that and put it into my core product, Dynamite." Bischoff believes that trying not only to the roster, tying not only the roster, but the AEW brand itself to Ring of Honor is diminishing AEW, skimming valuable resources that could be used to expand the audience on a brand that Bischoff sees as less than. Quote, "Right now, Ring of Honor is like a giant freaking parasite on the AEW brand," Bischoff continued. "The more focus they put on the parasite, the more that parasite is going to diminish and harm the core brand." Now, Bischoff is not the only person who is currently scratching their head over Khan's devotion to Ring of Honor. AAA head booker Conan thinks Khan is letting sentimentality get in the way of his better business sense with this one. What are your thoughts on Bischoff's comments about Ring of Honor and about AEW in general? Do you believe that ROH is a parasite on AEW? Is there any way that Ring of Honor can be viable? Or do you agree with what Bischoff is saying? Should Tony Khan let the company die and just strip it and use it for what it's worth, which I guess at this moment is maybe the tape library for when AEW and the product gets added to a streaming service? Let me know your thoughts about that as well. And let's talk about some ratings. Let's talk about SmackDown first. Of course, SmackDown was the special Tribute to the Troops special on Fox on Friday, and also featured the return of CM Punk to the blue brand for the first time in close to a decade. After some disappointing recent ratings, including a very low number due to preemption on FS1 3 weeks ago, WWE went into SmackDown last week looking for a strong rebound, armed with CM Punk's first appearance on the blue brand in nearly 10 years. And whatever anyone thinks of Punk, it appears his presence was a significant plus for viewership. WrestleNomics is reporting that last Friday's SmackDown drew 2.384 million viewers and a 0.63 in the coveted 18 to 49 demographic. Both numbers were up strongly from last week, with total viewers rising 17% from last week's 2.044 million, while 18 to 49 rose 7% from last week's 0.59. The good news didn't stop there, however, with Friday's show drawing the highest total viewership number since October 6 and the highest 18 to 49 number since October 13. As for Punk's effect on the numbers, he does appear to have been a big help. The polarizing and controversial WWE Superstars promo, which took place in quarter hour 5, drew 2.467 million viewers and a show high of a 0.69, that's 904,000 viewers in the 18 to 49 demographic. The numbers represent a good sign that interest in the former AEW and WWE champion is still strong, which is good news for Monday's episode of Raw. The ratings should be coming out later today. While Punk was a key figure in the show's success, however, he was not the only reason. Quarter hour 5 was outdrawn in total viewership by quarter hour 2, which featured the conclusion of Santos Escobar vs. Dragon Lee and a Randy Orton backstage promo. The segment drew 2.499 million viewers and a 0.65 in the 18 to 49. That's the second highest number in the demo for that evening. Of course, it was only Punk who topped that number in the key demo. Orton would do well again in the final quarter hour, with him and LA Knight versus The Bloodline drawing 2.401 million viewers and a 0.63 in the 18 to 49 demographic. So what are your thoughts on those numbers, and is the narrative that CM Punk isn't a draw being really criticised and actually being found to be not accurate at the moment? Let me know your thoughts about that. Now, speaking of ratings, we can talk about AEW Rampage's ratings as well. The viewership figure and demo rating for Friday's episode of Rampage on TNT has been revealed, and per Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics, Rampage drew 341,000 viewers. This is down from the December 1st edition that drew 348,000 viewers. In the key 18 to 49 demographic, Friday's show scored a 0.12 rating. This is up from the week prior that scored a 0.10 rating. This is the highest demo rating for the show since the November 10 episode. The show featured Bryan Danielson defeating Daniel Garcia in the Blue League of the AEW Continental Classic Tournament in the main event. Also, Orange Cassidy defeated Angelico to retain the AEW International Championship in the opening match on the show. Now, positive news if you're a fan of Jey Uso's yeet catchphrase, because indeed, after a week of uncertainty about trademarks and legal issues, it's back. On Raw, Jey Uso confirmed he was once again able to use his yeet catchphrase, seemingly resolving the legal issues that prevented the word from appearing on last Monday's broadcast. Uso came down to the ring this week wearing a Yeet shirt and hyped up the crowd by asking them to chant Yeet if they wanted CM Punk on Raw. Merchandise with the phrase is once again also being sold online, which includes shirts, hoodies, and other items. WWE had previously pulled the merchandise. Of course, last week it was reported that WWE had to mute Yeet chants from the crowd, as well as blur any past footage of Uso wearing merchandise with the word. WWE was reportedly unable to obtain a trademark to use the slang term in a professional wrestling context, as an independent wrestler by the name of Casey Scott Huffman trademarked the term for professional wrestling use back in 2021. As of this recording, there's no further information regarding how WWE was able to obtain the rights to that catchphrase, if a settlement was reached or anything like that. We get any more details or information on that, of course, we'll let you know. Now, Drew McIntyre, we've got an update on Drew McIntyre when it comes to his next title opportunity. It was revealed last night on Monday Night Raw. The next competitor for Seth Rollins' World Heavyweight Championship is set and will challenge at the beginning of the new year. In a backstage segment on Monday's Raw, Drew McIntyre was seen talking to Adam Pearce, the Raw general manager, when CM Punk approached. Punk and McIntyre had a short exchange, after which McIntyre told Pearce he was glad they figured it out. Pearce then revealed that McIntyre would be Rollins' next challenger, getting his latest title match on the Day 1 edition of Raw. Now, Day 1 was actually a 2022 premium live event, best known as the night Brock Lesnar ended the WWE Championship reign of Big E. A 2023 version of the event never materialized, but with Raw taking place on January 1st in San Diego, California, WWE appears to have revived the branding for that episode of the show. Now, the last time McIntyre and Rollins went head-to-head in singles competition was at Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia, where Rollins retained the World Heavyweight title. The pair were also on opposite sides of the Men's Survivor Series War Games match, where Rollins' team, also including Randy Orton, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, and Cody Rhodes, got the victory. McIntyre defeated Uso on Raw this week after defeating Sami Zayn last week, temporarily writing him off television, which we'll get to just shortly. Now, Cody Rhodes seemingly has got new allies as his feud with Shinsuke Nakamura continued last night on Raw. In the main event of last night's Raw, Cody Rhodes was set to take on Shinsuke Nakamura. However, the match didn't end as Rhodes would have hoped for. Instead, near the presumed end of the bout, Shinsuke Nakamura got loose from Rhodes and sprayed him in the face with red mist, causing a disqualification. While Rhodes was down and prone to a beatdown from Nakamura, the Creed brothers ran out to make the save. This marked the second time in the night Julius and Brutus Creed made a run out to save a popular babyface, earlier doing so, as we mentioned, for R-Truth against the Judgment Day. Now, the Creeds will challenge the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest, for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships on next week's show. Now, we may not know what's next for Cody Rhodes in this feud with Shinsuke Nakamura. However, we do know what's coming up for him in 2024, as he, along with CM Punk, have already entered the Men's Royal Rumble match. So far, we've got Cody Rhodes and CM Punk in the Men's Royal Rumble. Now, switching gears here, that's a picture you probably didn't expect to see. That's the AEW World Champion MJF with the 16-time former WWE World Heavyweight Champion John Cena. Now, AEW World Champion MJF ran into the WWE icon John Cena at the premiere of Iron Claw Monday night, and going by a video shared by Chris Van Vliet, it appears the two had a meaningful conversation after posing together for the cameras. Later, MJF shared a photo of him and Cena on the red carpet, as can be seen on the screen right now. This was apparently not the first ever interaction between Cena and MJF. As previously revealed by MJF, he and Cena got along well when they met at a movie set a few years ago where he worked as an extra. MJF might have had a run-in with the 16-time world champion when he tried out at WWE's Tough Enough reality show in 2015. MJF previously referred to himself as a generational talent in the same vein as Cena, and also name-dropped him on Dynamite last November. In other interviews, MJF has maintained that he grew up a huge Cena fan and that his room was adorned with Cena posters and merchandise as well. Besides MJF and Cena, other wrestling personalities who attended the Iron Claw premiere in Los Angeles include Liv Morgan, Baron Corbin, CJ Perry, Chavo Guerrero, Ryan Nemeth, Kevin Von Erich, and Lacey Von Erich. While MJF portrays a role of Lance Von Erich in the movie, Guerrero worked as a wrestling coordinator for the Von Erich biopic, a role he performed for other wrestling-related projects such as Glow and Young Rock as well. Now, what's quite interesting about this is that, according to reports, MJF's role as Lance Von Erich has been nearly entirely cut out from the movie. Whether or not that's confirmed, if you've seen the movie, let me know. And if you would like to see like a movie review or something like that, let me know. So maybe we can do something like that in the future. Finally, we spoke about Sami Zayn earlier on. His absence from WWE television has now seemingly been confirmed. Now, on last night's Raw, it was confirmed that Sami Zayn would be taking time away. In an in-ring promo to begin the episode of Raw, Jey Uso referenced that Drew McIntyre had, quote, taken out Sami Zayn last week, causing him to be injured. Shortly into the subsequent match between Uso and McIntyre, Michael Cole on commentary noted that Sami Zayn was out of action due to injury. Explained as being looked at for having a partially torn meniscus that will continue to be evaluated. Of course, it was recently reported by Dave Meltzer that in reality, Sami Zayn had requested time off and it had been granted by the company. While the length of the absence is not known, it is notable that Zayn isn't advertised as appearing at an upcoming WWE show in Quebec, which would have normally featured Sami Zayn, who hails from the province. So certainly if we get any more information on Sami Zayn, his future, or when he'll be back, we'll let you know in a future video. But there you go, guys. It's the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak for you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.